I'd like to welcome everybody to our Robbins Podcast number 5 here on the old bench at the old shop, and usual crew with us today. Myself, Richard Williams, and Skylar to my right. Yeah, right. And Drew is across from me, and Steve across to me from my left. So glad to be here. Today we're going to just get into it, talk about what's new. It's been a little bit since we did a podcast, so we're going to go over our furnace giveaway. We're going to talk about some experiences. This is nearing the end of our 20th anniversary in business, so maybe go over some highlights and fun times and funny times and all that. So
I feel like if it means anything, it means Steve's old.
Yeah, when I started, I didn't have any gray hair. I got a full head of it now.
I feel like we have some little part to do in that. Mm-hmm. A little bit.
That's what my wife says anyways, yeah. She says I cause her gray hair.
How come you're more gray than Steve is?
Yeah, I have one more kid.
Oh, that is true.
So what else is new? What's been going on in your life recently?
Man, it's Christmas time with little kids. I have a 3-year-old and a almost 7-year-old, so it's full blown at my house. Whole elf on the shelf situation, the whole nine. So it's Christmas City around my house. So it's a lot of fun. I love it. It's a lot of fun for the kids. And we had our company Christmas party the other night, and my kids, literally my 3-year-old, only Christmas party she's ever been to is the Robbins Christmas party every year, and she's only done 2 before that. So, and she just kept telling me the whole way, I love Christmas parties. So she thought that was the best time ever, and she didn't even make it out of the parking lot before she went to sleep. So that was a good time.
I think it's cool just kind of thinking about 20 years and what we do and all that stuff. It's cool to have a company Christmas party that invites kids. So it's always fun for my kids too, to be able to come and have a good time and make it more family friendly than just a bunch of adults getting together. So I think there's a time for that, but the Christmas party is a fun time for all the kids to be there. So
especially when they get the toys open, they can play together. And I know with my crew, especially the girls, the younger ones, you see a bunch of the girls all circled around with their toys playing and stuff like that. That's where it's like, man, that's awesome. Just to see the joy, they get the toys and all that stuff, and they get to play with them right then and there. Man, it's like Christmas 2.0 for them.
Yeah. I think just looking back on it, it's kind of interesting. I think our first Christmas party was probably just Michelle and I, and we went to dinner, and that was probably about it. So just to see where it's coming. I know that was kind of one of Michelle's big dreams, is when we do a Christmas party, it's all the families, and I've kind of bucked against it a couple times because it's chaos. But she loves it. She loves having all the kids there and giving the gifts to the kids, and I think the kids look forward to it now. So it's pretty cool.
Where was the first Christmas party that I went to? Was it Los Hermanitos? I think we didn't do kids that year. We just did dinner in the back room back there, and it was small enough crew at that point that we could fit everybody back there. And then we moved to the little schoolhouse on La Plata Highway because they have a big kind of ballroom, and did it out there as we kind of outgrew that. Did it at the Civic Center one year, and that's when we really started bringing families in. I think is when we went out to the schoolhouse, and then from there forward has been with the family. So.
Yeah, I think we did. We went Civic Center and then back to the schoolhouse, didn't we? Because I think my first Christmas party was at the Civic Center, or was it? It was. The smaller rooms with the windows, and that's when Rudy showed up with several plus ones. That was pretty good. Yeah, that was iconic, dude. That was awesome. Yeah, that was freaking really cool. So, but yeah. I mean, all the Christmas parties have been a ton of fun, man. I look forward to them every year. So.
Something else we did this holiday season to kind of recap on is the furnace giveaway. And we did a little video that we released on social media about that and some of the details and showing the recipients and stuff. But maybe we can just reminisce on that for a little bit and talk about the years previous and how it's kind of grown and where it's come from and all that kind of stuff.
I think we just kind of start from where it started. We were talking about some ideas of how we could give back to the community, and one of our longtime employees then came up with the idea to give furnaces away, and we all thought about it and thought it was going to be a great idea. So Lance brought that to us, and he's kind of the one that had the brainchild on it, and it's been a good deal. It's been a good deal for members of the community. It's been a good deal for us to to be able to give back and do some of that stuff. So it's been good.
No, I think it's cool. And then I think that year we just did one furnace, and we're lucky to be able to partner with our distributors on that, who help make it possible, because we've always donated the labor costs and the manpower to actually get that done, but we've had some support there on the costs of the furnace and the materials that it took to get that done. So, and then the next year we had others reach out, and we were able to start doing 2 furnaces, and then this year we were able to do 3, and with the help of a couple distributors, and the New Mexico Gas Company reached out last year and helped us out with doing a 3rd one, and so that was cool to see that, where I think all of us, if you're on natural gas here in this area, you basically have to buy your natural gas from New Mexico Gas Company. And, there's not other options where some cities may have other utility providers that you can purchase utilities from. But just cool to see that they don't have to do something like that, but they do want to be involved. And they offer the rebate programs and kind of some of the incentives to help our homeowners out. And so it's cool to see that from them.
The really cool part is a couple of years ago, we tried to see if anybody else was interested in how many other companies literally contacted us where we got to the point where like, oh, okay, this is too much. Like we didn't accept, we're not trying to buy these people a new house, even though we would love to, but it's a little, a little out of our range there. So, but just the overwhelming support from the community and the other small businesses, the locally owned businesses, Majestic Electric, San Juan Signs, M&R Plumbing, all these guys, just to name a few that come out and they really support and they really care and they pitch in anything they could, whether it be a service or a dollar amount or any of that nature, a gift card, a basket, whatever. I think that makes a big difference too as well.
Mm-hmm. And I think cool just seeing the progression of it, and like not just contractors and stuff like, Chick-fil-A and stuff like that stepping up and coming through to where it's a full circle thing for the whole community. I think that's been the coolest thing to see. It kind of, we planted a seed and now it's blossoming, and I'm excited for the future years to see what else comes of it, and plus it's the best part about it is you're helping somebody in the community in need. So that's the coolest part, and communities pulling together, which is the best part about it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, one thing that I noticed first couple of years that we were doing it, we had some of our own customers call in and ask how they can help and how they can be a part of it. Not just businesses, but we've had customers call in and say, hey, how can we help?
Yeah. And then some of that too, just to kind of piggyback off of what's said, is we've had others that have reached out, which I think is awesome. But then it's always amazing to me because we thought of others that we work pretty closely with, Spellbring Construction's one, and San Juan Signs, that maybe they weren't ones that had approached us in the past, but we more so were like, how can we involve some more help this year as we've kind of grew this thing, and just it wasn't a second thought. You ask those others to pitch in and help out, and they're just more than willing. So just to see the charitable hearts in the community and those who are willing to help out where there's a need, and pretty cool. I think I get kind of touched by that kind of stuff, and I like the way we have it set up as far as I think there's some that are just like, hey, it's a lottery. Anybody can put in and anybody can win, and that's fun and cool. But then you kind of see these other programs throughout the country where they're helping those in need, and I'm glad that we've set it up the way we have, where we really encourage those that nominate and those who receive a furnace, that there truly is a need in the home, and helping lift somebody's burden, make it a little easier in the things that maybe they're going through in their life and stuff like that. So I appreciate the program, just being able to help out those that truly have a need.
And what we don't normally talk about is on the other side of that is like we present the opportunity for the guys that work here. It's not just us that are helping these people out. We all come in and we all vote on them, and we all, the installers get to go out and install them. There's been a couple times where the service guys have went instead of, unfortunately, the furnace went somewhere else, but we felt like on one of our home visits we could go out and possibly fix their existing furnace and get them back up and running, and we've done that. So I think getting all the guys involved, I think is really a kind of an underrated aspect of kind of the whole situation. So
yeah, cool. Well, we look forward to keeping that going in the coming years for sure. See an end to it. Just see it improving and And it's an awesome deal. It's fun to see those people that find a little joy in their lives. And I just think about the little things we take for granted, like having a warm house and having a warm cooked meal and a refrigerator that has food in it and things like that. And those are little things that we on a daily basis can easily take for granted. And so it's humbling to be able to see, there are those that need heat in their house, and it's an awesome deal to be able to, do something about that for just a few families each year. So, but so as our 20th year in business nears an end, we're going to talk about some experiences and situations and funny things and good things and maybe even humbling or touching things that have happened throughout the years, like we were just talking about the furnace giveaway and some of the changes we've made up to this point. Steve mentioned kind of the way the Christmas party's grown, but maybe what are some things that stick out to you guys about throughout the years? What experiences or things stand out in your mind?
I mean, I think out of everybody sitting at this table, I have the shortest tenure. I'm 6.5 years, give or take, here at Robbins. But since I've been here, man, it's I think when I started working here, there was 12 or 13 of us, and just how it's grown. Like there's 24, 25 of us now, whatever it is. But the cool thing about that is the culture's never changed. So the entire time as the hiring process has changed as much as it has too, right? I feel like we've done a really good job honing in on the pinpoint of who makes Robbins, right? It's the guys, the employees that make Robbins. So just a thought about that. I was thinking about that the other day, how we've grown to almost double the size, is double the size now, a bigger building, all this stuff. And the guys, the culture hasn't changed at all. We're still tight knit. If you see one of us outside of work, there's normally 2 or 3 of us at a time. So that's pretty cool about one of the things that's changed, and also something that's stayed the same, so.
I just think, piggybacking off of Skylar, I mean, coming up on 10 years for me, just a little bit less than Richard. I think by 5 months, Richard, I'm behind you, if you will. But I think not only with people, but just the amount of people that we've touched, and not only for employees to get their goals in life, you know what I mean, from getting their first home or starting a family and having you think about from when we first started to now, how many kids, you know what I mean, it's insane. I mean, of course, half of those are attributed to my side, but that speaks a lot for a company, man. When someone's comfortable at where they're working at and stuff like that, then they're comfortable enough to be able to bring and make their family grow bigger. So I think that's one of the biggest things I've noticed is we've always had good people, and the people that are here, we've helped make those changes for their lives. And it's one of those, could be, like I said, their first home together with their significant other, or adding multiple kids to your family. I think that speaks a lot to what we're trying to do, for sure.
One of my favorite experiences, and obviously I'm more shallow than you are, so I was just thinking about how many years ago was that when we just had white trucks with black letters on them? Was that 8 years ago?
The first truck I drove was that way. It was the last one, though. Everything else had a wrap besides that one truck. It didn't even have a bed on it. It was just a regular pickup truck with a letter rack on it. It had the black and white lettering.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that and how, kind of at that time we were thinking, well, we live in Farmington, New Mexico, and there's a million white oil-filled trucks out on the road, and they all are Fords for the most part, and we drive around in white Fords that have some black letters on them, but it was hard to stand out, so it was fun to see the image change, and I think that whole image served a purpose for a long time, and so I don't think we should take away from that. I think it just new and improved and built upon what was already there, because the image of Robbins has always stood out for quality, and that's what we strive for is trying to provide quality. And but then I think the catching logos and the image change there with the bright colors and stuff has put kind of a face behind that image, if you will, I guess. But just that was fun to see that happen, from just going from white trucks to something that's wrapped, and getting the comments of, man, we see your trucks all over the place. Well, they used to be out there, not as many as there are today, but they were out there before, but just being able to hear people say, yeah, we see your trucks all over. It's cool. But
yeah, it's interesting when I think back over the last 20 years. Really, it feels like two different businesses, right? There was the first 10 years and then this last 10 years. But I remember when we got that truck and put the sticker on it, that first one, and we were so proud of it. And 2 kids scared to death. If we fail, I guess we just go homeless or something. I don't know. We wouldn't have been homeless. But I remember the day that we started our company, it was the scariest, most exciting day that we've had, other than having a kid after that. And then there was 4 scary, exciting days. But it really was. Those first 10 years was just brutal. It was, we had some helpers throughout those first 10 years, and it was me and maybe 1 or 2 other guys, and we'd stay up all night long building ductwork for the job next day, and it was a lot of fun. So I put a lot of hours into it, and same with Michelle. She was trying to raise kids and bring them up and do that and make a business work and all that. And then, we finally decided to grow the business and buy a building and put some employees on. And then there's the last 10 years. And so it's been two different companies really for us, and seeing how that all works out in the end. So super grateful to not just be me anymore. I'm getting older. I don't get to crawl around in those crawl spaces anymore. I don't think I can do it all day, every day anymore. So.
What are we talking about? The notable changes?
I don't know. Yeah, notable changes, funny experiences. How about funny experiences?
Yeah, funny experiences. Oh, funny experiences. We've had a bunch.
So one of my favorite, probably with Skylar, is him bench pressing a mobile home.
It's not funny.
So he was under there trying to run a line set for add an AC to it, and there's a plastic liner that was underneath this thing, right? And he's laid down there trying to get the line set up, and something moved underneath of him, and it happened to be a snake in between the ground and the plastic liner.
Been terrified.
I think
you
lifted the house
a couple times in my life, and that was definitely one of them. Like at first, like when I felt it, I was like, "Oh, that was weird," and I sat up. And I didn't want to feel the ground though. I didn't feel it with my hands. I just looked. I was watching the plastic real close, and it's just me underneath this house. If you can picture this, it's dark. It's just me, and I'm like, just the light beaming through the hole in the, I'm trying to feed the line set through, and I'm like, hey, hold on, I think there's something underneath me. I was yelling to the apprentice at the time, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was all, no, I don't. The plastic ain't moving. I don't know. And so I laid back down, and it gave it about 2 seconds, and then it really started moving. And I think I hit my head 4 times running out of the crawl space. So it was
standing up.
Yeah, man. I don't do good with snakes. I'm not a very good snake person. I can deal with spiders and other bugs all day, but not snakes. I can't do it. So that was not a good day. Yeah, I was terrified. That was very scary.
We had one that. Quite a while back, but Hunter went and actually helped me on we needed to put in a transfer tube, and for some reason we went and did it. I can't remember if the install guys were tied up or what, so we put in this, and then Risky ended up coming over and helping us. I think we went and got started, and then he met us over there. Anyway, but we were helping him out and went and got started because he was tied up on a job. Anyway, so I'm laying there on my back and holding the duct, and I told Hunter, okay, screw it together, because it wasn't a very big crawl space, so screw it together, and I'm holding it. And then he's all, huh. And then I kind of turn around, and there was a dead raccoon right behind us.
Oh, my gosh.
Just laying right there. Like, don't touch that.
Yeah, that's not good at all. Yeah. Or what about the time that I think it was Rudy got stuck in the crawl space because the skunk. It was over there off of Murray Drive, and he was all on one side, and they said they just seen it flash by, and they didn't know what it was, so they of course you're in a crawl space and you're just sitting there watching like for something else to move, and then they seen some eyes all of a sudden. They were like, but it just happened to be right by the crawl space entrance, and I remember they called and they were like, what are we gonna do? Like, how are we gonna get out of here? Like that was pretty funny.
I think Dee was with him at the time.
I think so too.
And Dee said he'd never seen him come out of the crawl space so fast. he was moving.
That's got to be the worst, though, when you're in a crawl space and you start shining lights and there's eyeballs looking at you.
Not good.
All you see is the eyeballs. You have no idea what it is right off the rip, and it's...
And hopefully it's not a feral cat at that. You know,
There was one customer had to go underneath the crawl space, and afterwards she's like, yeah, we've had a real bad issue with like bobcats underneath there. Really, that would have been because I wouldn't have gone under there. That would have been fantastic.
You just took my best case scenario and just nixed that. Not best case scenario being a cat.
Yeah.
Big old bobcat.
Yeah, big old bobcats down there. We've had issues. That would have been fantastic to know. Did you see any? No, I didn't. Thank goodness I didn't see any bobcats underneath there.
I remember I was just barely starting here, and me and Hiram were going to go do a job, little duck job, kind of downtown at a little house, and there's a crawl space. And one of Steve's strong suits is that he's very detailed. So I remember this job because I was pretty new and getting used to being in crawl spaces and getting used to being in attics and stuff. And so Steve takes a piece of paper and he draws out this house, and it's outlined the crawl space. And he said, so the crawl space access is here. And they said, right here, and he put an X on the paper. He said, there's a big black widow spider right there. And he said, you might want to kill it before it kills you. So I'm getting in the crawl space because I'm new. And I'm like, okay, he said it's right here. I'm all just crawling around. I'm all, okay, it's got to be right here somewhere. And sure enough, it was like dead exactly where he said it was going to be. Yep. I was like, oh, there it is. It's big too. It's a big one.
X marks the spot.
I know. And then I killed him. So I did. I made it. I got him. So
Black widows are terrifying too. I could deal with it more than a snake. It's not near as scary as a snake, but just like the monsters you get that are quarter size or $50 size is like, man, that thing just looks violent. Like, and it probably isn't at all, but it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I have to kill you immediately. I have to kill you before you kill me. Yeah, that's always a good
It's
time.
survival at that point.
Yeah, or you get in the crawl spaces where you can't see 10 foot in because of all the cobwebs. Oh, so you just stick a PVC. Let's go. You just
Screwdriver.
Make me a tunnel. No, screwdriver is too close. That's too close. I got about a 4-footer of PVC. Let's single it out there.
my favorite is talking to people that don't do what we do on a daily basis. They're obviously not in crawl spaces every single day, and they're always like, "Aren't you scared of spiders and stuff?" And I always just say, "Well, if I can't see them, they can't see me." That's my go-to saying. And then I always explain to them you can always tell a black widow web because it's real sticky and real high tensile strength, so you can hear tick 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 snapping. Anyway, so it's fun to crawl through a crawl space, and when you hit a black widow web, and you just go, and you just keep crawling, just well, here goes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
The biggest mistake you make is when you are laying on the ground and you're working on your back or something, and then don't stop and look around. Yeah. That's a terrible thing. Yeah, that's the worst thing you could ever do.
And your imagination starts running?
It's bad. Yeah, I've caught myself a couple times. I'm just laying there and I'm like, I haven't moved in 8 minutes. I've just been laying down here looking around, freaking myself out for no reason.
Turns out you're surrounded by 4 bobcats at that point.
Yeah. They have you cornered and you don't even know it. Yeah, that's so funny.
There's one other one I was thinking of was, you remember that guy in Bloomfield that he said his mom had something living in her attic? So you guys opted to send me out there to look at it. Because there was a hole in the ductwork and something had fell down into the furnace from the top, from the cat. Yeah, that was gnarly. But I was in the attic, and he's like, I think we got everything out of there, so you're good, because I just went to look at the ductwork. So anyway, the guy tells me, I think you're good. I think we got everything out of there. So I get up there and I crawl all the way back to where the furnace is at, and I'm shining my flashlight around, doing what I shouldn't be doing. Shining my flashlight around, all of a sudden eyes just go pew, run through the attic, and I was all, I'm out. Crawl back out of there. Hey, you got more animals up there. You're going to have to figure that out because I don't know what it is.
You need an exterminator. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Talk about I don't know if it's a funny situation, but you remember that one job we did several years back in Bloomfield that the whole crawl space was filled with 3 inches of water? You remember that one? And then Richard's all, yeah, well, you have to re-insulate that whole duct system. The crawl space is like less than 2 foot tall. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. We were soaked from head to toe. I think that one was me and Rudy too, and just having the worst time ever. And then after we get done, we crawl out of the crawl space. We're dripping wet, just covered in mud. We laughed it off. It was pretty funny, and that was a bad one. Yeah, that one was terrible.
What about unique or maybe interesting experiences? Maybe we've covered some of those, but what else stands out?
Unique experiences. Going to, as far as just maybe leadership, team status, going to the echelon front experience last year was wild. That was awesome. Probably one of the coolest things I've ever done.
That one's a tough one to beat, and that was going to be my go-to on that one.
We've done cool stuff, right? I think it's more the opportunity than the experience itself, right? How many companies do you go to that takes their guys to Topgolf, takes their guys, runs down and goes to a golf tournament that's 3 hours from here, and just has a great time.
I think another couple cool experiences that Michelle and I have had while in business is one of our distributors, Johnstone, has invited us a couple of times to other Johnstones that do dealer meetings and stuff like that, and had us sit in front of a bunch of contractors that we didn't know and get to talk about our business and how we do stuff. And there was question and answers, and you kind of hope for the best and answer some questions and stuff like that. But I think that's been a cool experience for us. We've done it 3 times.
Nice, yeah. It's a good feeling, yeah.
Invited back to do it. You must have done something right the first time. So hopefully that was the case, and going to some of those, we got to meet a lot of people, and get some of those experiences. Or I know working with BDR, Drew's got contacts all over the country that he can call on and ask questions and stuff like that. So I think that networking and opportunities like that's kind of helped us grow our business and become who we are today.
Yeah, I think something that the industry as a whole drops the ball on is training and helping because there's a big major labor shortage in the trades, and especially in the HVAC industry. I'm sure everybody's experiencing it, but just those qualified, trained, technical minds that the industry had so prevalent up until this point, and now you have a lot of those guys that are old and know everything, but nobody's bridging the gap between taking their knowledge and giving it to the new generation. So just kind of thinking about those experiences we've had of getting to go to those trainings and we prior to COVID we got to travel for those, so we got to see some pretty cool places while we went out to go to those trainings, and BDR offers a lot of that stuff to take the level 5 mind and start to train that level 1 mind and get them up to speed.
Yeah, it's one thing that I've been grateful for. I didn't know what HVAC was when I went to school for HVAC, right? And so, it just, you got to start somewhere. And it's been a great career for not only myself, but a lot of people that work here, a lot of people that are in the industry. It's been an amazing opportunity and career, and can be for those that are willing to put in the work. I'm not built for an office, so I had to do something. And working with my hands is what I do best, so I enjoy it.
So if you're a junior or senior in high school and you're looking for a great career, come see us.
One thing that, we're talking about the last 20 years, but kind of an exciting thing that we're rolling out January this next coming year is a career path, right? To give those younger guys a pathway to get from starting out to where you're a senior tech and are making some good money and providing for your families and the ability to do that. And so sometimes it's hard to see that at 18 years old, where I can be in 5 years from now or where I can be in 3 years from now, but to be able to have this career path put forward where they can see that opportunity and know that, hey, I can make a career out of it.
And I'm a pretty fast-paced individual myself. I just like change, and I like to see things happen, and I don't want to say too much instant gratification, but I do like things to happen faster than sometimes they do. So I know a lot of the new generation and the youth today, they struggle with that because why they look on social media and things change rapidly. They can, scroll 200 videos in the matter of 30 minutes. They go through
or 4 hours, which I mean, sometimes you get, sometimes you're stuck. Yeah. What day is it?
But as far as that goes, I think, it's a cool industry because it's really a lot of change, a lot of challenge, a lot of new stuff in and out every day. And it doesn't take 8 years worth of college to come do this and instantly start providing yourself with a good living that can continue to get better. So I think we're, youth are we're going to have to tailor some of this stuff that's happening within the trades and within the blue collar industries, to these youth and the way the way their minds have been wired with today's technology and things like that. They don't want to do it the way their grandpa did it in the industry, and just put your head down and go to work, and which is what we do, right? But we have to tailor that to them to make it motivating and intriguing for them.
You just look at the technology just from when you and I started in the trade, or even you, how much it's changed. What's in the units nowadays compared to when Steve first, got his feet wet in the trade. It's impressive how fast technology moves, and, that's one thing that we try to put an emphasis on is staying ahead of the curve on that. But it is, it's insane to see some of these units we get in. It's like, holy cow, it does what? You know what I mean? That's what's really cool about it too.
Have you got to work on one of the new Bryants yet? Phone.
Yeah.
Straight to the app. That's how you set all your blower settings, everything. So they've been talking about it. They're finally starting to roll in on the 2-stage units. So they're pretty wild. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like it's cool to see. Like, and it actually does work. I mean, that's how the guys are setting them up. So that's
I thought it was really cool with the axial fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That was really cool.
That was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've talked about it before, like when you get into crawl space in some of these homes in Farmington that are 60 and 70 years old, and they have metal ductwork with flathead screws, and at the time they didn't have drills. So you think about whoever that guy was at the time, right? He's in there in a crawl space all day long trying to run metal pipe with flathead screws and screwed in without a power drill.
I know you said something about how the older guys used to do it. Our grandfathers used to do it. I don't want to do it like them. I bet that was a terrible time. Yeah, that's insane.
But if you ask them, dude, they loved every second of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, man, that does not seem like a good time at all. You think they pre-drilled their holes? They couldn't just...
No, down there, you got to do it with that hand crank drill.
Yeah, just like the hand
crank.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Pop a hole in it, just put your screw in it.
I know, because you're getting some of the ones in that same metal duct. It was right about that time. I want to say like in the 60s is about the time of the houses, but you get where some of them are only duct taped together, like your house was. Yeah. And as soon as you touch, you're like, I need to just move this supply run, and you can literally watch it. It's like 40 foot long, 5 foot sticks, and it goes. You touch the first one, and it goes. And they all do it, and every one of them fall down all the way to the boot, and you're like, dang it. Like, it's funny.
I have a power drill to put that back up with.
Yeah. Trevor and Lane are actually on one in the Caminas right now. That just happened to them. They were telling me about it. They were like, dude, we tried to move that plenum so we can get that new furnace in there, and literally like 8 duct runs fell completely apart. Like, yeah, I know exactly what you're going through. That's terrible. And it's the house that we were talking about earlier with the water in it. Same thing. We were trying to insulate all that. Same thing. There was no screws in it, but there was that old duct tape. It was super brittle. As soon as you went to go to try to run that sleeve on there, it just... and it all fell down.
All that's left is that one little bit of string.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. And you know what we're talking about because we did it at your house. Your house is that way. Yep. I had to fix some stuff.
Yeah, when we started in, there was a supply house called Four Seasons Supply, and they'd supplied us with all of our sheet metal fittings and all of our stuff like that. And so it was ran by Daryl Hunt, and he used to own Hunt Sheet Metal back in the 80s and 70s. I don't know how he's got to be 90 now, but same way, I'd go under these houses and I'd talk to him about what they were, and he goes, yeah, we ran that duct system. And I'm like, man, those guys did it. They did it back in the day. It wasn't a bunch of flex run all over the place and poor airflow. They had exactly what they had. They did it right, man.
And no foil liner on the insulation. It was just bare insulation with baling wire that held it on. So, or whatever wire that they wrapped around it to keep it on the pipe. But it's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about changing times. One of the biggest thing I think is airflow and the ductwork, like the way these furnaces work off of static pressure, and the way we have to design our duct systems and make sure everything is perfect. But just because it's crazy to see these 40, 50-year-old furnaces and they're still running and they've had inadequate return air their entire life. Like it's been working off a 8-inch return that ran through and up a wall or something just wild. And then it's like, we put this new one in and we're having to cut holes in these people's houses and this and that. And they're like, why are you doing that? Like this thing has worked forever. Well, it goes to say, I tell this to a lot of customers, they just don't make stuff like they used to. Like you got to, if this thing isn't perfect, it's not up and running like a top, it's not going to run very well. So you got to, yeah, left and right. Yeah, it's no longer belt driven. We don't roll like that no more. Everything's direct drive.
You know, speaking of insulation, when I started in the industry 25 years ago, right, it was R4.2, which was about 1.5 inches insulation. And now it's R8, where it's 3 inches. It's like a 6-inch run looks like it's a 12-inch run now because there's so much insulation around it. It's crazy. So. And
refrigerants. How many different refrigerants you been through? 2 or 3?
Well, I didn't start back in the R12 days. So.
Well, I thought it had to been at the end of the R12, right? Or they?
It was pretty well phased out. R12 was at that point. I don't think I ever ran into a system that had R12, and I had some 502.
It's almost like you're expecting it to be like water and ice.
Didn't we talk about that on another podcast, like how they heated and cooled houses?
So most of it was R22, right? In the early 2000s, it went to 410A, right? And here in 2025, it's all going to switch again. So
I do forget it is 2025. Like 20 years ago was still in the 2000s. Yeah, I like that doesn't click to me. Yeah.
20 years ago for Skylar's 1960.
Yeah, literally. You ever see those memes? Those memes that say that? It's like 20 years ago is 1980. Like that's what it is. It's literally in the 80s.
Well, yeah, I saw a meme that was like all these 90s kids walking around that are like, yeah, 1980s was just like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. I was born in 1980. Yeah. It was only like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's 20 years ago. I know these kids are like, some of the guys working with us say, I was born in 02. I was like, you were what? Like, that was after 9/11. Like,
favorite memory of just being here overall. Steve's probably got a lot to choose from, but what do you guys think? What's your favorite memory of just being here over the course of the time you've been here?
Like, I don't know how often you guys do it, but I know Richard's done it and Drew just did it like a week ago. But scaring Michelle, I don't do it no more. Yeah, she's going to start throwing blows. But yeah, if you scare Michelle, and you survive that, that's a pretty good memory right there.
Because you're still alive to remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that you got her good too when she looks at you, and she doesn't have to say anything, but you can see the possible curse word that might come out.
Yeah, like in her head, she's ran through 10 of them already.
She's got you. It is a really good time though. That's an ongoing good time. Just just the environment in general, right? We're always joking. I think I would love to get a count on how many cans he's poked a hole in through the years. Like
allegedly.
He has ruined so many shirts. Like those of you guys that don't know Drew, and if you know Drew in the future, just watch out for this. Do not leave your canned drink. If it's a Red Bull, a Rockstar, a canned coffee, whatever it is, if it's aluminum and you can poke a hole in it with a knife, he will get you. Every time. He pokes it just above the float level. As soon as you turn it up, bam, you're done. Or the one time that I left I think it was a KFC cup, and this was at the old building, and I came back and not paying attention. It was on my desk. That was when me and Richard and Drew were all in the same office, and I came back and I just pulled a big old pull through the straw there. Somebody had dunked it in a packet of hot sauce, and Arby's hot sauce or Taco Bell hot sauce up. It almost came out my nose. That one was pretty rough. That was a bad one.
I think Drew's so bad as he gets blamed even if he was nowhere around.
He always should be.
Yeah.
He deserves it every time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's guilty and proven innocent at this point.
Yeah, at one point I had every packet of sauce from Taco Bell to Burger King to, if it was ketchup, mustard, it didn't matter, Arby's, everywhere, somehow ended up in my desk.
What about those Granger books too?
Look, I just threw the Granger books away.
Peanut butter cups.
The peanut butter is still.
That was fantastic.
That one's still a little. I'm still a little frustrated. I still find that like 2 years later, in just random spots. And every time I see peanut butter, I look at Drew like, it wasn't me. It wasn't you.
Yeah, and that's why we can't have individual servings of peanut butter anymore. We have to share a community jar.
Yeah,
Correct.
Because you ruined it.
No, he didn't want it in general.
the first time around, I didn't want it. So
That's on Ronnie's do not buy list. Do not buy individual servings of peanut butter.
I think that's back when you were buying the snacks, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why you got canceled.
The favorite part is most of the time, if one prank gets pulled on someone else, everyone else knows about it. Like, at least in our, whoever's there at the office that day. So it's like the one time that all the packets are in your desk, we were laughing about it. I think it took him like a day to find them, though, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Steve was out all day, and when he came back and he walked in his office and sat down at his desk, we all just smiling at each other, looking at each other in the office, and then here he comes with the whole thing. Throws it on him. He ended up dumping a whole trash can full right on Drew as he was sitting at his desk. Oh.
Well, we forgot to mention how we got all those packets. So there was a guy that we love. John, you still live on here too. But he had a manila folder that every time he went to lunch and he got some kind of sauce packet, he would file them in his desk. He had a little spare spot in his desk, and he would file the Taco Bell sauce in this folder, and he'd file the ketchup in this folder, and which it was nice, because then if you ever went to lunch and they didn't happen to give you your sauce, you could go ask John and you could have whatever you needed. Yep.
Yeah, a quarter.
I would
have made bank.
Yep. But then when John moved on to bigger and better things, he donated his whole manila folders full of sauce to me, and then somehow it got to Drew's hands, and then somehow it made its way to Steve's desks.
Yes. We're still running an active investigation on that, actually.
We're not. You did it. That's that. There's no.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to give a quick summary on this whole experience here.
Who's gonna give the lowdown of this?
All right, I'll give it.
Okay.
So what we did originally was we'd bought a truck, and I think like every truck, I got to drive it for the first 500 miles or so, give or take, 200 miles, whatever it was. And so we set up the remote start on my phone, on the Ford app, right? So it's on my phone. So Drew inherits a truck, and so I would randomly just start the truck. And like, Drew, why is your truck running? And he'd go out there, he's like, I didn't start. Well, I don't know why my truck's running.
I'm on a roof. Why is your truck running? I'm on a roof. I don't know.
We got to the point where I would look at the GPS, and he'd be out in Bloomfield somewhere. And so I'd call him up, why is your truck running? It's just sitting there and idle. I don't know why it's running. And so I think at that point I'd called Jeremiah and told him, hey, man, if Drew calls you, just tell him, dude, there's some recalls on that, and so we'll have to get that in, or the thing will just start on fire. And so then I laid low for a while, and everything was fine. So then I started it back up. A few months later, 4 months later, started doing it again, and he's just like, dude, my truck's doing it again. I go out there in the morning,
which was convenient. I didn't even need to start it at that point.
So I'd wake up and start his truck. And so anyway,
like 6 a.m, my truck's running. I go out to it. I'm like, nice.
So yeah, Jeremiah says, yeah, we got to get that in. There's a recall on that. It's going to start on fire. So after we heard that, who went with us? We all piled in one truck.
Yeah, there was like 7 of us.
Like a regular cab truck.
Yep.
And we just go down to the firework stand, and we buy some smoke bombs.
Big ones, big smoke bombs.
Big smoke bombs. And that really fast lighting fuse, remember that one? Yeah, that was spooky. So anyway, we get Risky and your wife involved in it, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
So Risky lights the smoke bombs, and Kelsey does our insurance as well. So she's like, this would be a fantastic, let's burn a truck to the ground. So anyway, So we're all sitting there in a company meeting, and
We had rigged the smoke bombs. in
yeah,
Drew's truck.
Risky was scheduled to come in late because he had an irrigation problem or something. Whatever. Anyway,
I didn't know this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Know how much planning went into this? Okay.
And so he lights these smoke bombs, and Kelsey comes in the door and says, "Hey, there's a truck on fire out front." And what did you say?
I knew it. I told you.
I told you it's going to happen.
I knew that truck was going to burn down.
Drew walked straight to the truck with a purpose.
Yes, on a mission.
And he's pulling tools out as fast as he can get because there's just smoke barreling out of this.
He doesn't even try to put the fire
Nope.
out either.
Tools.
It's like
I chalked it up.
he
Got to
just-
learn.
Somebody didn't you tell somebody to grab a smoke or a
Rudy.
fire extinguisher?
Yeah, I told Rudy to grab a fire extinguisher. Next thing I turn around, there's like 12 people with their phones out recording. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
He's got half his truck unloaded. The smoke bomb finally went out. We ran out of snow.
Just tools strung all over the street. Good time.
Drew's truck was going up in rainbow smoke. That's
Remember the potato gun?
yeah. Hit it again. That thing was. I don't think Steve knows about that. Yeah, we made a potato gun one time.
Yeah, we did.
I don't
At the
know
old
where
shop.
you were. Yeah, it was. We didn't have nothing to do, and it was
like
late.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, it was late. It was dark out, and we were like, dude, no, we're making a potato gun.
It was you, me, and Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We started making it, and then so we couldn't get it to ignite though.
We had we had hairspray. We had
What spurred it was you had that igniter that had been sitting on your desk for like ever.
the click
Forever.
igniter.
Yeah, and it still worked, and we
Yeah.
always shocked each other with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd run by and do a drive-by and just so yeah, so we ended up we had this stuff there to end up doing it. So we go to do it, and we couldn't get it to ignite, and then so like we're doing it, and I'm just clicking the button, boom.
through the trash can.
Yeah, through the trash can. Shot through the trash can. Pete was pissed. His trash can got smoked. It was pretty good. I still have it. It still sits in my shop. I haven't touched it since.
Nice.
Yeah, I took it home.
That was hilarious. We got the thing to fire off a couple times.
Yeah, we still. Yeah, we made a potato gun. I don't know where you were. You'd probably been in on it, but yeah, we needed we needed probably some. We were having some malfunctions with it. The thing would not light, so yeah, we needed. Drew wasn't much help, so he's.
I was in the front of it looking down it.
Yeah. Look and see if it's igniting while I pick this.
I can't see past a potato.
Oh,
So funny.
Very funny.
That was hilarious.
All right. So to wrap this thing up, what are we looking forward to in 2024? What things you see coming? What are you excited about?
I think growth overall in the company. I think we have big plans. We just got done with what we call business planning. There's been 3 days locked in a room with each other, which usually turns out well, surprisingly. Yeah, it is. He takes up 2 chairs, but I think just overall growth, right? Our projection. I mean, we always plan to grow, but it's pretty funny because we figure out how to do it with the same amount of people, and we finally got Steve coming around the corner like, hey, if we're gonna do this, we need to kind of expand our personnel on site so we can kind of do this. We need more people out there so we can service the community better, and we have shorter wait times, stuff like that on the call out. So especially on the service side. I mean, it does come to the install side too, but on the service side. But I think overall, just looking forward to growth.
I'm going to say, I mean, we've all worked very diligently and hard on the career path. And so I think that's the most exciting thing for me, especially just kind of giving little snippets to the guys, hey, we got this rolling out, and they're all inquisitive and excited and asking questions. And I think it just gives that like we've talked about, that long-term sight that you're talking about, Steve, as far as this is what I'm shooting for, So that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to get that rolled out, get it into play. Like I said, a lot of hard work's gone into it. And I'm excited to see that, much like our furnace, just blossom and just give anybody from who's been here tenured to anybody coming on, man. It gives them that goal, that sight, that long-term goal. And that's what I'm excited for. It's going to be fantastic.
I think I'm going to join in with the rest of the nation and watch the election I hate election year. It's just I think it draws out the worst in a lot of people. But as a nation, we still stand pretty strong when it's all over with. So I'm excited for that. On the business side of it, I'm super excited about the career path. Just to see how that works out with the guys and bringing new potential on, and giving them a clear path on how they can become the best that they can become, as well. And like Skylar said, with some of the stuff we put together, business planning, we'll have to be bringing on some new guys, and so that always brings some fun things into it with a bunch of training that we end up doing and trying to get them up to speed as fast as possible so they can achieve their goals as well. And so I think 2024 is going to be a fun year. It's going to be a hard year, I believe, but I think we've all pretty much committed to we like hard things, so we can get through it.
Yeah, for some reason I'm just drawn to hard things. It's like really hard for me not to take the easy path. So, which I like. I like that. So, I'm excited for new little one to grow up a little bit. He's pretty boring right now, so he's
he just lays around.
Lays around and does nothing.
Yeah.
So, but then he'll turn out like his brother, a little terror. But we'll have to put him in line. But anyway, I'm excited for that. See him grow up a little bit. See the other kids get to go do some fun things with them. On the business side, I'm excited to just serve more customers. I think we had a kind of a realization, like Skylar said, at business planning, just realizing that we have a presence in the community, and a lot of people want us to be there and work on their stuff, and sometimes there's long wait times, and we do have people that are very patient with us and go without cooling or go without heating for somewhat of a lengthy amount of time so that we can get there and be the ones to work on their stuff. And for me, I don't know, that's a huge compliment. I couldn't imagine being that patient. As far as that goes, just realizing how patient they really are with us, and especially new customers and existing customers, and being able to just serve more of the community. I think that'll be fun. And along with that, the other aspect of that only we really get to see, not, the community doesn't see, but just seeing the in-house staff grow and trying to figure out how we can get these kids out of high school that want to come and make this their career, and then see them set goals and achieve them and be just along for the ride in what they accomplish. So that's exciting for me to see others succeed, and I'm excited for that. So cool. Wahoo. I think that ends our podcast for today. Talked about some good stuff, some fun stuff, and I hope everyone who watches this enjoys it, gets a little sneak peek into what we do on a daily basis and the fun we get to have, but also the work we get to do, and we'll see you on the next one.